Hey guys, Shadowz here, and today we're going to be discussing Gears of War Ultimate Edition when it comes to my personal top 5 maps from Gears of War 3 I want to see remastered and included in the Gears of War 1 multiplayer. Now we don't know if this Ultimate Edition will include just the Gears of War 1 multiplayer or not, but my good guess is I think it will be the remastered multiplayer only, just because we've already seen it from the leaked gameplay. But from hearing this Ultimate Edition title, I think there is a good chance we could see fan favourite maps taken from both Gears of War 2 and Gears of War 3, given the updated remastered treatment and released in this Ultimate Edition multiplayer. Now all these maps I'm going to be choosing are from Gears of War 3, they are exclusive maps to that game and are only available in that game at this moment in time. My number one map choice from Gears of War 3 I would like to see added to this remastered multiplayer in the Ultimate Edition is Rustlung. This map was released a part of Gears of War 3's first map pack called Horde Command Pack that released on November 1st, 2011. Now what I really like about this map, like most of my choices in this top 5 list, is the fact there isn't many major power weapons like a sniper, boom shot or even torque boat on the map itself. So it all comes down to your personal skill with the starting weapons, most specifically the shotguns, either the Nasher or if you do want to say sawn off. There is a good mix of open areas with as well them two very narrow corridors coming from spawn areas, which always led to some awesome Nasher fights but also clutch moments as well. One thing of course that would need to definitely change from this map, Rustlung, is the silverback spawning in it. As we all know, it just doesn't belong in multiplayer, but when it comes to map interactions and talking about map interactions, I really like the usage of the torpedo cover within the center of the map itself, because it came down to strategy to the players either to use them or not at certain points within the match, depending on whether your teammates were in the open area or the enemies. Next up, my second map, which is probably easy to agree with, is Checkout. This is probably my most played Gears of War 3 map, just because it was one of the maps available in the Gears of War 3 beta, but also that most of the community really enjoyed playing this map on any game mode. I enjoyed this map a lot still to this day, even though I've played it so much, just because of the map size, but also overall the balance of the weapon pickups. With the map being quite small, it still has a lot of separate areas where quite a lot of one-on-one action takes place, which depending on the game mode gives you more map control if you find yourself to win them 1v1 situations, and that's what makes this map appeal to me the most and a lot, as if you were a skillful player and you could handle yourself and you could win these 1v1s, you could really help out your team by taking over a section of the map and then crossing for your teammates. Again, this map featured some map interaction even if it was minor, which was the fire alarm if you've forgotten. Originally it did help out distract players by covering the sounds made by players' movement, so you could sneak up on enemies a little bit more easier than usual, but I've always wanted it to do something more, like maybe releasing a few random smoke grenades in certain areas of the map, or maybe if a water system went off which affected players' screens visually if they were within the spray areas. Just something extra physically and in front of you to take place in the game alongside the additional audio we hear from the fire alarm. For my third choice of Gears of War 3 maps I want to see within the Ultimate Edition, it is the Slab. Yet again another DLC map, because like Gears of War 2, Gears 3 just had some awesome great DLC content for multiplayer maps. The Slab was released on January the 17th, 2012 with the Phoenix Rising DLC map pack. Being a King of the Hill player back in the day, this map became one of my favourites very quickly, as the action on that game mode gets very intense very quickly. What appeals most to me on this map is the overall layout, just because you could have the higher ground, or I called it the vantage point at the grenade spawn near death row, which if you had a skillful rifle player up there using like the hammer burst or the lancer, would spot out enemies playing like a marksman, you could really dominate that map, as they are able to see all the weapon pickups and main points within the map itself, with a mix of grenades and a major pickup in the center of the map, either being a boom Boomshot or Digger, there were a few different strategies you could choose from depending on the game mode you were playing. My fourth map choice is Mercy, which as of recently, after playing in the Black Tusk Studios hosted 1v1 tournament in December last year, I really gained interest in this map, much more than I actually originally had. What made me choose this map for this top 5 list is because of several key locations around the map, but also being mostly an open map, being able to see players and enemies from one side to the other. Similar to the slab, you had a major vantage point, which on Mercy obviously is the mortar, seeing every aspect of the map, even to the edges of the spawn areas. Having a player there is usually the role of main communication guy, which I call it, calling out what side the enemy team spawned on. However, different from other maps, you also had the Boltok areas both sides on Mercy, which players could use to a great big advantage to call out enemies at mortar, but also cross out players coming from the spawn areas. Finally, what makes me really like this map overall is the church itself, which literally is the perfect area for Nasher fights like 1v1s or even more that no other map in the whole franchise has. Within this church, it is even throughout not having a advantage or disadvantage side, lots of small cover for players to work with, but also a higher and lower area as well, which usually consists of the best Nasher fights ever in the franchise taking place in that building. Finally, for my final Gears of War 3 map I want to see return is Depths. This was also a map that released within the Phoenix Rising DLC on January 17th, 2012. Now, you may not know this, but the map unfortunately got pulled away from public play due to a very easy accessible map freezing glitch, which of course would be removed if it were to return. I'm sorry guys, no more piano playing, I'm afraid, for you musical players out there. Now, the layout of this map is very large, but with the weapon pickups it really made it feel much more smaller than it was when you were playing it. Mixed with open areas but also lots of lanes and corridors, this map would always get a bit hectic and crazy as there were so many routes players could take to flank the enemy team. It took skill and good communication within a team to control this map, with a overlooking one shot on one side and a major power weapon, either the Torque Boat or the Digger, on the other side. You always had to be careful traveling through the map because of these major 2 vantage points, but that's when all the important cover came into play as well, making this map a really great experience to play on any game mode. There you have it, that is my top 5 Gears of War 3 maps I want to see remastered and added into this Ultimate Edition experience. Just to recap, Rustlung, check out the Slab, Mercy and Depths. Please make sure to leave me a comment down below. What is your top 5 maps from Gears of War 3 you want to see return in this Ultimate Edition? Obviously, again, these are based on my opinion only, and it doesn't represent what maps are best and what maps are worse. As Gears of War players, we will of course all have different opinions. It's just awesome to see what other people's choices may be. So you have today's video. Give that video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. Thanks for watching, and as always, I shall see you on the next one.